Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be making cards using Love from Lizi's Little Bug collection. Now this was the theme for Love from Lizi's January 2026 monthly card kit, and it was super popular, sold out right away. But you can now purchase many of the products individually, including the paper, ephemera, and stamp set that were included in the kit. And there are also 2 add-on paper collections available. I'll quickly go through all the papers in the 3 paper collections so you know exactly what's included. And I'll start with Little Bug. This is the paper that was included in the January 2026 card kit. Love from Lizi always has amazing monthly card kits. The kits are available individually without a subscription, but they do sell very quickly. The only way to guarantee receiving a kit is to sign up and subscribe. All 3 paper collections include 12 single-sided pattern papers, and they're a 216 GSM weight. All 3 paper collections can be used individually, or you can mix and match them together, and that's what I'll be doing for my cards later on in the video. The next paper pad is called Busy Bugs, another adorable collection with these sweet little ladybugs. I'm not surprised the Little Bug January kit sold out so quickly. The images are just adorable. I fell in love with these ladybugs as soon as I saw them. Love from Lizi's pattern paper has a matte finish, but it's also super smooth. It's a very nice quality. The colors are vivid, and I really enjoyed using it. It holds adhesive very well, but it doesn't have that slightly slick or glossy surface, so the papers don't slide all around. So the final paper pad from the Little Bug collection is called Blingy Bugs. Now this pack has more tone-on-tone designs, and the first 5 sheets look like glitter, but there's no glitter at all. It's still that really nice, smooth pattern paper. There's a light blue, a red, yellowish gold, green. There's another red, and it has some tiny stars mixed with the glitter. There's a green chevron with black polka dots, a few more polka dot designs, and several of these have this fun brushstroke look. And the final 2 have more of those brush strokes with little stars and twinkles. So there's a look at the 3 paper packs that are part of the Little Bug collection. There's also a Little Bug ephemera pack, lots of the adorable ladybug images. And I'll lay them all out here so you can see everything that's included. Several beautiful florals, but lots and lots of ladybugs, plus some small heart images. There's also a Little Bug stamp set. It includes several sentiments, ladybug images, some smaller images, polka dots, and also a little script square stamp image. For a limited time, you can save 10% on the Little Bug paper pads. That includes all 3, the Little Bug ephemera pack, and also the Little Bug stamp set. Use my code Kristie10 to save 10% at checkout, and this is only through February 28th, 2026. I also have a few of the Little Bug add-ons, and these do not qualify for the 10% discount. I have the 2 peel-off packs, the pinstripe peel-off packs on the left, and the variety peel-off pack is on the right. Lots of lovely colors and different styles, and they work beautifully with the pattern paper. Peel-off stickers from Love from Lizi are some of my favorite craft items to use. They add that perfect touch to your card or project. The final add-on I have is the Little Bug Specialty Cardstock Bundle. This one also does not qualify for the 10% off. It includes a sheet of gold pearlescent, white glitter. There's a silver mirror, a black glossy mirror, green glitter, and finally a red pearlescent. If you are interested in any of the products I showed, I will have them linked in the description box below. I have 7 different card designs to share with you using the Little Bug collection, and I will be using some card sketches for inspiration. If you're interested in any of the sketches I show in this video, I share all that information on my coordinating blog post. The link is in the description box below, or you can simply head over to KristieMarcotte.com. For card design number 1, the sketch is from Freshly Made Sketches. It's number 722. For the background of my card, I selected the pattern paper green with flowers, ladybugs, and black polka dots. For the 2 narrow stripes on the right side, the wider stripe I use the tone-on-tone with the script, and then the narrow is the yellowish gold glitter looking pattern paper. On the card sketch, there's also that narrow 1/8 inch strip. I'm skipping that part. Instead, I'm adding some peel-offs along the outside edge of those 2 narrow strips. I selected the black with gold overlay in pinstripe style, and I'm using the widest width. And since I will be covering up an area with the image, I was able to use some of the smaller scrap pieces I have on hand. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some black cardstock. My background pattern paper piece is 5 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and the cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 5 3/8 of an inch by 4 1/8 of an inch. I'll put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Next, I'll add 2 stitched circle die cuts. The smaller white one, I use a linen texture cardstock, and the larger one, I use a black cardstock. And the circle dies are from Love from Lizi. She offers several shape dies in a wide variety of sizes, so you'll have that perfect matte layer. I'll put glue on the back, adhere the circle on the right side of the card. You can see I covered up those gap areas where I didn't have any peel-offs. And this is where I'm adding one of the ladybug images. I've already put foam dimension on the back, and this is a 1mm foam. I'll add the ladybug inside the circle. For a sentiment, I've already stamped and cut out just a note. I use white cardstock and black ink. I'll cut a fishtail on the left side, layer the sentiment on black cardstock. I'll cut that fishtail again on the left side. I'm adhering the sentiment on the left side of the ladybug. Part of the sentiment will sit on the circle, so in the area that goes off of the circle, I'm adding a scrap piece of cardstock. I'll put glue on the back and adhere the sentiment in place. And I'll make sure the sentiment is on nice and straight before the glue dries completely. For a little extra detail, I'm using a small scrap piece of black cardstock, cutting a banner. So I'll cut that fishtail on the bottom and adhere the banner in the upper left-hand corner. So even though the card sketch only showed those few diagonal stripes on the right side, you can always add more to customize it for what works best for you. For embellishments, I'm using more Love from Lizi peel-offs, this time the mini circle style in black. I have one sheet that's almost gone, but I still have quite a few of the small circles left. I'll put 3 circles in the upper right-hand corner and 2 in the lower left-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I used the same sentiment, just changed out the pattern paper and a different ladybug ephemera image. For card design number 2, the sketch is from Cards TV. This is number 57. For the background of my card, I'm using the green glitter looking pattern paper. For the square, I selected the yellow chevron with lots of ladybug, floral, and star images. I'll layer this square pattern paper piece on black cardstock. And for the black cardstock layer around the ladybug pattern paper square, it's an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 3 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/8 of an inch. For the narrow strip that goes across the card, I'm using more of the red with script pattern paper. You'll only see a tiny bit of it showing on the right and left side. For a little bit of separation and shine, I'll add a Love from Lizi peel off along the edge of this narrow red strip, using more of the black with gold overlay peel offs in the pinstripe style. This time I'm using the narrowest width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some black cardstock. The green pattern paper piece is 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches. The black cardstock layer is an additional 1/4 of an inch. And I am adding it on some white cardstock that has a very subtle linen texture. And that piece is A2 size. Now I'll put adhesive on the back. Add my card front onto a card base. Next I'll add the square panel with the sweet little ladybug images. Put more adhesive on the back and adhere it in place. For this small rectangle piece on the left side of the card, I'm using some light green cardstock from my stash, and I will be layering it on more black cardstock. And that black cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. Now on the card sketch, it has this little rectangle piece a little bit higher, but I didn't want to cover up the sweet little ladybug image, so I'm placing it lower. Before adhering it down, I will put that scrap piece of cardstock on the bottom area, and that'll help it stay at the same level. And I'll put adhesive on the back, adhere the rectangle in place. For a sentiment, I'm adding a happy hello, and this is from a different Love from Lizi stamp set. It's her Bugs and Kisses set. I stamped it on a stitched oval die cut, and the oval dies are from Love from Lizi. And I also added a little green leaf underneath the sentiment on the left side, and that leaf image is also from the Bugs and Kisses stamp set. Before adhering the sentiment down, I'll first add the ephemera image, and I did pop it up using more foam. I'm using small and large foam squares from scrapbook.com in the 1 millimeter thickness. So once I have the mushroom and floral image, I can add the sentiment on the right side. And to keep the sentiment at the same level, I'll put some foam squares just on the lower portion of the sentiment and then glue behind the rest of it. And I'll make sure it's on nice and straight before pressing it down. For a little extra detail, I'm adding another banner, also in black cardstock. This time I'll cut the fishtail on the bottom and also cut the right and left side in slightly at an angle. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere the banner in the upper right-hand corner of the ladybug pattern paper piece. And I'm putting it just a tiny bit higher than that black cardstock layer. For embellishments, I'm using the mini star peel-offs in gold. I'll add the largest star on the banner and then 3 small stars, 2 on the left side of the mushroom floral image, and 1 on the right side of the sentiment. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I mostly use the same pattern paper. The glitter paper for the background is slightly different, and for the image I used a ladybug ephemera piece. For card design number 3, the sketch is from Cards TV. It's sketch number 73. This is a fun sketch since you can add 4 different pattern papers, or you could use just 2. I've even used this sketch before with 1 pattern paper, just cut into the larger strip on the left and then the 3 smaller pieces on the right side. For my card, I'm using 3 different pattern papers. So the piece on the left has the ladybug stripe paper. I'm using 2 of this red design with the little stars. And then the other square, I'm using the gold yellow glitter looking pattern paper. I'll add all 4 pieces on some black cardstock. When adding the 4 pieces, I started with the large panel on the left, then the top and bottom square, and then finally that middle square. I find it easier to get even placement when I do it in that order. I will be layering this piece on some of the gold pearlescent cardstock. You can see out of the center, I did cut out a circle, and I'll be using that later on this card. Using some scrap cardstock, I cut out another circle the same size, and I'll use it to fill in that cut out area. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For the black cardstock piece, I did cut it a little bit smaller than what's indicated on the card sketch. My piece is 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. And the gold pearlescent cardstock is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. I'm using another stitch circle die cut for the image, but this time I'm adding a little extra detail. I'm using the script stamp that's included on the Little Bug stamp set. The ink color I'm using is Distress Oxide Antique Linen. I'll first get ink on the stamp, then with my finger I'll press it down on different areas of the circle. I don't want the image going all the way across the circle. Instead, I'm going for just some random areas, giving it a very distressed look. And I know it's a little hard to see since I used a very light color. I wanted just that subtle script on the background. Now I'll layer this circle on the gold pearlescent circle, and this is the one I cut out of the background. Put glue on the back, layer them together. And I am placing an acrylic block on top for some added weight since I'm adhering that white circle on a specialty cardstock. Sometimes it takes just a little bit longer to adhere. Now I'll put glue on the back, add the circle more on the right side of the card. Trying to get the circle on nice and straight with that script. It's super tiny, but there are actually words of the script, so you don't want to put it on upside down. For an image, I'm adding the 2 ladybugs standing next to the heart. I did pop it up using more of the 1mm foam. I'll remove the release paper, add the image in the center of the circle. For a sentiment, I've already stamped and cut out just a note. Behind the sentiment on the left side, I did put some foam dimension. In the area where it sits on the circle, I'll add some glue. For a final finishing touch, I'll add 2 of the heart ephemera pieces, and I'll add them in the upper right-hand corner, overlapping just slightly. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. The other card has the 2 little ladybugs, a smaller red heart, and they're sitting on a trio of leaves. For card design number 4, the sketch is from Mojo Monday. This is number 364. For the image panel, I also added that script on the background using the antique linen ink color. I like how it gives just that little extra detail instead of just white cardstock. I'll layer this piece on black cardstock. For the smaller rectangle on the left side, I used the red with the brush strokes and little polka dots and stars. I'll layer that piece also on black cardstock. For the background of my card, I'm using the red polka dot with the glitter brush strokes. Before layering it on the black cardstock layer, I'm putting some Love from Lizi peel-offs across the card using the racing green mirror in the straight design. I did put one strip all the way across, but I could have just used some smaller pieces since I'm covering up most of the card with the other panels and images. Now I'll layer the background on the black cardstock. The pattern paper piece for the background is 5 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and the black cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll put adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. Now I'll add the red rectangle on the left side of the card. And before adding the image panel, I'll put those scrap cardstock pieces, one on the right side and one at the very bottom. And the scrap cardstock pieces are a fairly heavyweight cardstock. It's just some small scraps I have on hand. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, add the image panel on the right side of the card. Now on the sketch it has the sentiment going on the right side. I will be changing that up and adding it on the left side. But first I need to add my ephemera image. Selected the mushrooms with the floral and a sweet little ladybug sitting right on top of one of the mushrooms. And I did pop it up using more of the 1mm foam. For sentiment, I'm going with the general sentiment again, just a note. I love that Lizi included a general sentiment along with the love and Valentine's Day sentiments on the little bug set. Before adhering the sentiment down, I will add that scrap piece of cardstock on the left side. Then I'll add glue behind the right side that'll sit on that image panel and adhere it in place. For embellishments, I'm using some of the mini circle peel-offs in black. Decided to use the smallest size circle, especially since I have quite a few on this extra sheet. I'll add 3 on the left side of the image panel in that upper corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 5, the card sketch is from Sugar Pea Designs. This is Sugar Sketch number 46. I haven't used this sketch in quite a while and thought it would be fun with the pattern paper and images. For the very background, I'm using the red glitter with the little stars. That piece is 5 1/4 inch by 4 inches. For the large banner, I selected the leaves with ladybugs and tiny red hearts. I'll cut a fishtail on the right side. I will be layering it on black cardstock, but first I'm adding some peel-offs in the center. Now on the card sketch, it has a little scallop border. Instead of the border, I'm using a sway and also a pinstripe peel-off, both in black. For the sway peel-off, I used the widest width, and for the pinstripe, I used the medium width. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on black cardstock, cut that fishtail again on the right side so you can still see some of the black cardstock border. I'll put adhesive on the back of the large banner and adhere it on the left side of the red glitter pattern paper so it's flush on that very left side. Now I'll layer this piece on black cardstock. And my black cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 inch. Now I'll put more adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 inch of the white card base showing. If you don't like the look of the white card base, you could always have that background cardstock layer of full A2 size. Next, I'll add a banner, and I'm cutting it the same as what's indicated on the sketch. So I'll first cut a fishtail on the bottom, cut the right side in slightly at an angle, then do the same thing on the other side. Put glue on the back and adhere it in the upper left-hand corner of the leaf banner piece. And I'm trying to put it up as high as possible so I don't cover up most of that ladybug on the left side. Next, I'll add a stitch circle die cut. The smaller one I use white cardstock, and the larger one I use the green glitter paper. This is included in the specialty cardstock bundle. This green color matches beautifully with the green leaves. I'll adhere the 2 circles together, then put glue on the back and adhere them on the center of the card. And this is where I'll be adding one of the ephemera images, another sweet ladybug, this one with the little floral bouquet on her head. For this card, I decided not to add an image. Never hurts to have a few blank cards on hand. For embellishments, I'm using more of the mini circle peel-offs, this time the medium size, and I'll put 3 on the right side of the banner in the lower corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 6, this sketch is from Sketch Saturday. It's number 779. For the background of my card, I selected the leaf pattern paper, and this piece is 5 1/4 inch by 4 inches. For the narrow strip going across the card, I'm using some of the green glitter pattern paper. And since it really blends into the background, I will put a Love from Lizi peel off along the edge. This is the white with gold overlay in pinstripe style, and I'm using the widest width. I'm covering up the very center of the card, so I really only need those peel offs on the right and left side, maybe about an inch. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on some dark green cardstock. And that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. For the banner on the left side, I'm using the same green cardstock. And on the card sketch, it does have that banner going underneath the green glitter strip, but I like the look of it in front. I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom, adhere the banner on the left side of the card. For the image panel, I cut out a large stitched oval die cut, and I used the very light pink brush stroke with the little glitter circles and stars. And to give it a little more stability, I cut out a second oval from some scrap cardstock, the exact same size, and I'll glue the two ovals together. And before that glue dries completely, I'm trying to make sure they're lined up perfectly. Then I'll put glue on the back, add the oval in place. Now I'll place a large acrylic block on top, let that sit for a few minutes, and that'll help it lay nice and flat. For this card, I'm adding 2 of the ladybug ephemera pieces, a boy and a girl. The girl has the eyelashes and the little flowers on her head. I did pop them up using more of the 1mm foam. I'll remove the release paper from the foam, add the 2 ladybugs on the oval, and I'm placing them up high enough so there is space for a sentiment underneath them. The girl will go on the right side and the boy on the left, so they're facing each other. For a sentiment, I've already stamped and cut this out. Happy Valentine's Day. I used a dark green ink color on white cardstock, and I did layer the sentiment on the same dark green cardstock. Next, I'll add 2 of the heart ephemera pieces. The larger heart, the solid red, and the smaller heart is the red with black polka dots. Behind the larger heart, in the area where it goes off of the oval, I will add some foam. Then I'll put glue on the back and adhere the rest of the heart, and then the smaller heart will go on the right side, overlapping just slightly. For embellishments, I'm using the mini star peel-offs in gold. And I'll put 3 in the upper right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now moving on to card design number 7, and this is my final card design. The sketch is from Mojo Monday. It's number 543. For this card, I'm using 4 different pattern papers, and some of them are fairly busy, so I will need to add some separation. For the very background, I'm using the white with leaves and flowers, and then that narrow piece on the right side will be the green leaf paper. For the small rectangle, I'm using the blue glitter paper. And for the strip going across the card, this is red with black script. I'll layer the blue glitter and the red with script piece on black cardstock. For the 2 background pieces, I'm layering them also on some black cardstock. I'll add the green leaf piece down first, that's the narrow strip, and then the larger panel on the right side. And if these aren't cut perfectly, they overlap, or there's a little bit of a gap, you can easily fix them by adding a peel-off. I'm using the Racing Green Mirror peel-offs in the straight design. So they're a little bit wider than the widest pinstripe. I only need to add some small pieces of peel-offs since the rest of the area will be covered up with other elements. I'll layer this piece on green cardstock, And that green cardstock layer is A2 size. Now I'll put adhesive on the back, add my card front onto a card base. Now I'll add the red strip and the green glitter rectangle. I'll put adhesive on the back of the red strip, but first I'll adhere the blue glitter rectangle. That way I know there's enough room for the red strip underneath it. Now there will be a gap between those, but no worries, it'll be covered up by the large circle. I use white cardstock for the smaller circle, black cardstock for the larger circle. Put glue on the back of the white circle and adhere them together. Then I'll put glue on the back of the black and adhere it on the right side of the card. And this is where I'll be adding one of the larger ladybug ephemera pieces. And I did pop up the ladybug using more foam. I'll remove the release paper, then add the ladybug inside the circle. It's so fun that the ephemera pack includes a wide variety of different sizes of the ladybugs. To make sure I had good coverage, I did cut quite a few of the foam pieces in half to fit behind the narrow area of the ladybug. So now I'll add the ladybug on the circle. And this will be another card where I'm not adding a sentiment on the outside. In the upper right-hand corner, I'm putting two of the heart ephemera pieces, the large red with the black polka dots and one of the small light blue, and I am popping them up using more foam. The blue one will overlap just slightly. So I only want to add foam behind the blue heart that isn't overlapping on the red heart. Cut a tiny piece for the bottom portion of the blue heart. Put glue behind the other area and adhere that small blue heart in place. For a little extra detail, I'll add a small banner in the upper left-hand corner using some of the dark green cardstock. I'll cut a fishtail on the bottom, put glue on the back, and adhere it in place. For embellishments, I'm using more mini circle peel-offs, this time the Racing Green Mirror color. And this is another sheet like the black where I'm almost out. I just have some of the small circles left. I'll put 2 in the upper right-hand corner and 3 in the lower left-hand corner on the red pattern paper with the black script. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For my second card, the ladybug faces right, so I decided to reverse the background elements of the card. Now here's another look at the 14 cards I made using Love from Lizi's Little Bug collection. I had all 3 of the Little Bug paper pads, the Little Bug ephemera pack, and the Little Bug stamp set. This is an adorable collection, and I still have quite a few sheets of pattern paper left over and some of the ephemera pieces. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.